Hello, everybody. My name is Oliver G. This is the Earful Tower podcast, coming to you from a Paris that is finally sunny again and beautiful. Oh, what a time to be alive. But this episode's talking about something a little bit outside of Paris. You're going to hear a story about my very, very late night / very, very early morning visit to the Rungis fresh produce market. So if you never heard about it, you're going to get the whole brief as we go through this episode. But basically, imagine the place where all the restaurateurs and market vendors get their fish, cheese, flowers, meat, all this kind of stuff. It's the biggest fresh produce market in the world, apparently. And thanks to April Pet, who runs April in Paris Tours and a long-time friend of this podcast, I had my invite. So this isn't a place you can typically go. It's just a place we happen to get into, and I brought the microphone along to take you with us, basically. So that's what you're going to hear in this episode. You're going to hear from me. You're going to hear from April on the scene. You're going to hear from Jaad, who was our guide and a market vendor himself. And part of this was we filmed a live YouTube video. Just a quick one, 15 minutes or so. You can see the replay on YouTube already, and it's on the show link notes below. But I don't think I need to say any more than that to give you the gist of where we're going today. I think you're going to like it. This is a cool way of seeing behind the scenes where the food that we eat when we're in Paris comes from. And as usual, this show is brought to you by the lovely members. Don't be one of those people who email and say, I've been thinking about being a member for a long time. Take my words now as your cue to do it today, because this show can only improve with your help. So Substack or Patreon, both memberships are the same. I want you there. Let's start with some music from Press Max, and this is his take on a famous French song that's quite fitting indeed for today's theme. See if you can pick it out, the song title, before the end of the episode. I'll reveal it then. This is the Earful Tower. Let's start with the music, and then the next voices you'll hear will be mine and April's. Here we go. April, what time is it?
Well, it is 2:17 a.m.
What are we doing awake at this hour?
Well, we are on an expedition through the world's largest wholesale food market in Rungis. Rungis is a suburb of Paris, just next to Orly Airport, and it is full of hustle and bustle at the moment.
As you say this, a man with a manual pallet jack is crossing us one way, and a guy on a very fast automatic pallet jack.
Watch this guy.
Times two, actually.
We're going to get run over.
And so if it sounds like our voices are echoing, it's because we're in a hall that is like the size of 4 Notre Dames at very least.
Yeah.
Right? No, I'm bigger than that.
I was going to say maybe like Stade de France.
Yeah.
Maybe.
And what it is it's a bunch of people. It's a bunch of, are they the fishermen themselves?
Yeah, I think all the people who are selling are the fishermen. And then there are restaurateurs and top chefs and Michelin chefs and market vendors all running to and fro in order to get the freshest catches of the day to bring to their markets and to their restaurants.
And literally, we'll go through here.
Yeah.
We're with someone, Jaad, his name is, a friend of yours.
Yeah.
Jaad, and he's as we step, what we didn't mention, fish everywhere.
Everywhere.
What have you found?
Wow.
What have you? That's a shark.
Shark, yes. It's a shark.
You're on the podcast, Jaad. What do you want to say to the world? Hello.
Parle français.
Now, you've heard the colourful voice of Jaad himself. He's our guide. I think it's a good chance to just take a break and meet him properly. So he runs a market in the southern suburbs of Paris. As I mentioned before, he's a friend of April, and he basically doesn't speak any English at all. So how are we going to get to know him? Well, I'm going to try something a bit different. I spent I mean, I was with this guy for about 3 or 4 hours. And because he doesn't speak English, I wasn't recording everything. I was just chatting to him. And so what I've done now is I sat down, typed up how I remember a big part of our conversation, and I put it in my own words in English. And I've got a friend of mine who is native English and French speaker to voice Jaad. So I'm going to stress, this is my version on his quotes. This is breaking probably some journalistic rules, not breaking podcast rules. I want you to get a sense of Jaad. Lovely guy. And he was talking to me when he said this over an espresso coffee at 1:15 in the morning in a sort of little restaurant bar it's kind of reminded me a bit like of a trucker bar that was inside this huge complex. So we're having an espresso and he's telling me about his life.
Social media? I don't use it. I don't have it. Who would I follow anyway? That's not what's important to me. What's important is human-to-human connection. Everything I do is human to human. I come here to Rungis, buy the fish from the fishermen. I know them all. I meet them. I see their fish. We talk, we negotiate a price. Then I take it to the marketplace and sell it to the people who will eat it. We talk about what fish is good for what they want, how they can cook it. You know, I don't actually sell fish. I sell memories. Think about it. The family that comes to my market and buys a platter of fish for Christmas Day. The whole family is there at the dinner table, from the young kids to the grandparents. They're making a memory that revolves around the meal, around the fish. It's the centerpiece for the family get-together. The couple buying oysters for their anniversary. The husband buying a nice salmon to impress his wife. It all comes back to the fish. It always comes back to the fish.
Okay, back to the market. As we're talking, wow, okay.
Oh, wow.
We got a
Petit requin.
A little shark. How long do you think he is?
That's as long as
2 mètres?
one of your legs.
Fait 1,50 m.
1.5 meters.
Un petit.
Yeah, he's a little one. Like one of my legs.
Yeah.
Baby sharks.
Baby shark.
Tu vois, je parle anglais.
So that's what we just
are-
were entertaining. There's fish, there's crabs, there's shrimp, there's prawns, there's lobsters, there's sea urchins everywhere. I'm talking.
And pallet upon pallet of it. Like there's hundreds, thousands of pallets with all the freshest fish. Jaad was saying that when we first arrived, that the first fisherman that we visited, he had been out fishing for 8 hours already in order to, get all the freshest catches to bring directly here for opening time. So we actually arrived at 1 o'clock this morning, so we've already been bopping about for over an hour. Oh, and yeah.
And because you're not meant to take pictures or videos in here, even though we did, to paint an audio picture for you guys at home.
My money, your feet.
Oh man, there's a fish
My gosh,
that's
look
one
at-
of my legs.
That's one of your legs, definitely.
What's to paint that picture though? When we say there's pallets and pallets of fish, I don't imagine like a storeroom of a supermarket where all the pallets are next to each other. These are spread out. None are taller than maybe hip height.
Yeah.
But because it's so big, the size of Stade de France, as you said, that means that there are probably millions of fish in here.
Oh, absolutely. The amount of fish that comes through here every week is about, on average, 1,000 tons per week. And going into Easter week now, even more fish will be coming through the doors of the marketplace here, just because on Good Friday, a lot of French, like Catholics, Christians, eat fish, right, on the Friday evening before Easter. So Jaad was saying in the days leading up to today that... he's planning to get even more fish than usual. Oh my gosh, look at that.
I'm going to ask him what it is. Qu'est-ce que t'as trouvé là?
Un thon rouge de Méditerranée. C'est exceptionnel.
Exceptionnel. Pourquoi? Why is it exceptional?
La zone de pêche. En fait, le thon rouge de Méditerranée, elle a un goût qui est subtil, qui est extraordinaire. La qualité, elle est ferme. Et là, les gens en raffolent pour manger cru.
That's red tuna from the Mediterranean Sea. It's exceptional. The taste is really subtle. The flesh is so firm, our clients love it. They love to eat it raw. It's magic.
Et c'est quoi ça? C'est
De la sèche.
squid?
Squid, yeah, look at its tentacles there. Yeah, calamari, I think it is.
Tu vois?
I think there's two different types of squids. Yeah.
Sans
so-
encore de couleur. Très très frais.
Ouais.
Il y a quelques heures de pêche. Tu vois, tu le vois avec... dès que tu passes le doigt, la réaction.
So Jaad is running his finger over the back of squid now and saying it's so fresh it still changes the color. It's only been taken from the
water
the water
just a couple hours ago. So it's like the squid in the squid ink. That's what he was rubbing across it. And so
and then
with
wiping his hands on the box and then getting on with it. Although a lot of the people who were commenting on our video were saying how clean it looks out here, and I think that's a fair call.
Well, actually, when we were getting dressed up for this evening, Jaad said that we had to wear white, and we asked why white, and he said just because that way they can monitor the cleanliness of the people entering the market.
You came in a wedding dress.
I did. They made me leave it at the door and put on these rubber boots, though,
Look at this guy, halibut.
Huge halibut. Oh
That
my
is, honestly, about the size of you, April.
That is about the size of me. Oh my gosh. I'd never imagined a halibut.
A lot of these fish I never imagined either, to be honest.
Wow.
A bit of history, April. You're a tour guide. You know your stuff. You're angling, if you'll excuse the fish pun. So maybe do.
It was really good.
Here we go. You're angling perhaps to have tours where you take people out here, if that comes to fruition. But the history of this place.
Yeah, so, the market halls, the wholesale market halls, they were first established in 1158, I believe. And so those particular market halls were located in the Halles district of Paris. Yeah. Oh my gosh, I still can't believe how big that is. And anyway, in those market halls, fed the mouths of the locals for 800 years. But
Léal,
yeah. You often find me over there on Rue Montorgueil. And so, but basically, the old market halls used to be located in the first and second arrondissements. And so once vehicles were invented, cars, it was causing traffic congestions, being right in the heart of the city. Plus, those market halls fed about 8 million mouths and were home to 500,000 rats, okay? And so the city said, okay, we need to kind of come up with a better solution for the market halls, and maybe it's time to maybe modernize them a little bit and find a better space. So in 1969, all the market vendors packed up one day and moved out here to Rungis. So now, so today the market halls here in Rungis, they're the largest wholesale market halls in the world. Like I said earlier, larger than the Principality of Monaco, the floor space out here. And, it's business as usual here all hours of the night.
Can I finish with a personal question?
Yeah.
If you were allowed to shop here, I don't think you are, right?
Well, I've been here once, not in the fish section, but I have visited the flowers and the produce and the cheese, and I shopped.
Okay.
Yeah.
So maybe you can shop. So the question is, what would you get from here? We've just done a big walk through most of it. Is there something that tickles your fancy?
Well, I'm a big lover of oysters. If I could bring a crate of oysters home, that would make me very happy. Yeah.
Let's talk to Jaad and see if he can make it happen.
Yeah.
Thanks for bringing me out here, April.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for joining me.
So there you have it. After that finished, after the podcasting and the walk around the markets finished, we met a guy who was in charge of the Blanc oysters, and especially the Gallimard oysters. And he was so friendly, and he just brought out a whole platter of oysters and champagne. And which for me, by the way, I should stress something I didn't say at the very beginning. My friends have been known to call me the Midnight Man. It is so rare that I do anything until after midnight. So the idea that I was sitting there at 4 a.m, drinking champagne and eating oysters is absurd. But what an experience it was. We sat there. I took some films. What I think I might do with the extra film is share it with members as a tiny little enticement for people to come and join the membership club. But yeah, what a surreal way to spend a morning. At the end of it, oysters tasted, champagne drunk. We jumped in a car, drove back into the city, where I saw a taxi passing, jumped out of the car, jumped into the cab, got home at, I don't even know, 4:35 in the morning, and crashed out hard. So it was cool to get an invite to go and see the Rungis market. Rungis, R-U-N-G-I-S. I think if you've been to Paris a bunch of times and you want to go off the radar and see something very different, get in touch with April and see if she's offering this tour yet, because it's a cool, different thing to do. Otherwise, quite fun for me to get a chance to show you something that you might not have seen or heard about otherwise. This is the Earful Tower. A big thank you to Jaad, a big thank you to April Pett from April in Paris Tours, and a big thank you to all the members of this show who keep this thing going. That song you've been hearing throughout the episode is Press Maxon's take on La Mer, the sea. Seafood, of course. Thanks, Press Maxon, for your take on the famous Charles Trenet song. That'll do for now. Let's hear the music one more time. Have a lovely week wherever you are, and I'll be back again next Monday with another episode.